Paintball nerd. Today's guest on Paintball Nerd started playing paintball in 2013. He turned pro in 2022 with the Ironmen. He's also played for NRG and the Las Vegas Golden Misfits. He's joined a new team for 2024. It's Aftershock. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Trent Nitta. Trent.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Good, man. Happy to have you on the show.
Good, good. Thank you. I'm happy to be here. It's gonna be fun.
So, you started playing paintball in 2013. How old were you?
I was 10 even. Just started like right away, right when I turned 10, and never stopped since then.
So tell me about that first experience playing. How did you get hooked?
I went out with like my two other buddies, and we were super young, and I just remember getting shot in the rib cage, and I was like, no way, I'm never doing this ever again in my entire life. Like it hurt so bad, it like started bleeding right away. And I gave it back to my friend, and I was like, I love this, I love this. And then ever since then, it was just like the give and take in like competition, and just like highly competitive sport is what kind of hooked me on
Well, how'd you go from like, I'm never doing this again, my ribs are bleeding, to I'm hooked?
it. Because you can give it right back, and you can give it right back is just as good as you got it. So that's kind of like what hooked me. You always give it back.
So how was your journey to pro? How did that look?
Um, my journey to pro is, I mean, kind of strange. I started playing paintball in Colorado. Grew up here, but like, born and raised in Colorado, and just started like going through like the divisions that has like everyone else does. But you kind of max out around here. Like there's a lot of like Division 4 teams and 3 teams, and then we had like Colorado Blitz, which was the team that was like big around here growing up. But I just like never got. I don't want to say I got along, but like just never had the opportunity to play with those guys. Like just they were a lot. It was a bigger skill gap. There was a big skill gap from like where like Division 3 stopped in Colorado up to like the semi-pro level that Blitz was playing at. So it was hard to make that jump to just play with them. So I decided to move to Texas and go try my luck somewhere else. Yeah. And when I got to Texas, I played with a team called Grit, and well, that was just kind of a disaster. But it was a I met some good
Why
people out
a
there.
disaster?
Um, the owner was a real interesting person. I mean, they did some great things for me, but it just didn't work out with them in the long run. I mean, I did meet like Alex Martinez from X Factor and like all the X Factor guys while I lived out there. I lived 10 minutes away from the field. So it was kind of perfect. And I just practiced so much while I was out there, probably like 4 days a week. I was out at X Factor, just like always doing drills.
Hmm. So how'd you end up on a Southern California team?
For the Ironman,
Yeah.
I've played with the Hurricanes. I kind of forgot to mention that in the little like pre-meeting thing. The Hurricanes. I actually moved from Texas to Boston to play with the New England Hurricanes when it was like the New Orleans Hurricanes and then the New England Hurricanes. We were both like playing semi-pro at the same time, and me and Keith DeVitt and Kyle Mikolo all like kind of just we were really good friends on the Hurricanes, and I mean like they're my brothers. And after that, Keith kind of started talking to Di a little bit about all three of us going over to play for the Ironmen. And actually, there was a fourth person, but that just didn't work out at the, like way back in the day. But yeah, I actually got on the Southern California team just like kind of happened. Both Di teams, like Keith used to play for them back in the day. And he kind of just like got the conversation going. And we had like a little mini tryout out in New England with Nikki, and then all three of us actually just got picked up on the Ironman. If that answers the question.
Dude, that's dedication. I mean, you've moved all over the country for paintball. Colorado, Texas, Boston. Boston, right?
Yeah, Boston, like downtown Boston.
Where do you live now?
So like I was saying at the beginning, I was born and raised in Colorado for a long time. So I just moved back to Colorado from Boston like 6 months ago, just to be around my family and just enjoy the mountains and still play paintball, but enjoy being around my family.
So Tell us about a memory that really stands out for you, Trent, in paintball.
In paintball, my second place in pro. I mean, that was one of the most memorable things that like I've done. Yeah, for sure. Just because I was a part of it too. At the end of the day, like a lot of people are like on teams that like may not get to play a ton or like whatever it is, but I was a part of like a second place professional win, which was like a really like monumental thing. I obviously want the first, and like that's what Aftershock's all about. At the end of the day, is like they were a legendary team back in the day, and like that's back in the day though. Like so now it's about the future and like upholding that legacy and like really going for a first place. So the
So
second place is my most memorable thing for sure so far.
what team were you with, and what event was it?
That was whatever like the minor in 2022 in California, like the Golden State Major or whatever it was, and I was with Ironmen.
So what was so memorable about that win?
Just because like it was my second event pro ever, which was like crazy. And I got to do it with my two friends from like the New England Hurricanes, Keith and Kyle, which was like made it even more memorable. Like it kind of felt like you know how it is like when a team ends, like it's like oh crap, like a good team that you enjoy being around with like the all the people with. It kind of feels like a dark ending if that made sense. Like but it was like the light at the end of the tunnel. Like me and my like two friends from that team like get to go play pro together, which is like a rare thing in itself, and then go play like take a second place is huge.
Dude, it's extremely hard to make the finals, right? So
Yeah.
podium is like it's a big deal, even if you don't get the first place, like it's hard work, you
Yeah, I
know.
mean, and it just fuels you to get the first next time. Fuels you to get the first next time. People work their whole career to just, yeah, like you said, make the finals, and it's a big deal. So, just makes me want to do better.
Man, some people have been playing pro for a long time and they've never been on the podium.
A long time, yeah, yeah.
So it's an accomplishment. Who's your favorite teammate over the years?
Who's my favorite teammate over the years? It's got to be Keith. It's got to be Keith. Just, he's probably one like when I was coming up. I remember at like the BKI summer camp one year. I like, always did like the BKI stuff. So like shout out to Anthony for all that. Um, but he went to the BKI camp one year, and I was like, oh my god, this guy's kind of like scary. He's like this big, burly, like beefy guy. But he was like it was intimidating meeting him. And I remember like just like meeting him like a couple times, like just like back and forth through the heads throughout the years, and then actually like winding up to getting to play on the New England Hurricanes with him, and then playing pro with him was awesome. It was like a dream come true.
Well, what are you gonna do now that he's not your teammate?
I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. We'll see what happens in the future.
You're gonna steal him. You guys are gonna steal him, aren't you?
Who knows? I mean, that's not up to me. I'm not upper management. I'm just a player. I'm just a little soldier at the end of the day.
Right on. Well, Trent, how about a player that you looked up to, on your way up through the ranks? Who's someone that you really wanted to emulate?
I mean, everyone says it, but like Marcelo, obviously, it's been like also like a dream come true to like be coached by him like in multiple occasions, and like
On
yeah,
the
just like
Misfits, right?
yeah, on the Misfits and like even throughout like just like the combine and like doing the clinics that we've done and like just like the random occurrences that like we've crossed paths, whether it's like him helping out like the wrecking crew kids, and I think I got guested for an event with them and like he was coaching with them. So there's just been like so many like random occurrences that like we've crossed paths where he's had the opportunity to coach. And the Team USA stuff. The Team USA stuff was like a big opportunity for me to be coached by him.
Ever got to play with him?
Yeah, I did. I got to play with him when I did the Team USA. Well, when I went out there for the U19 stuff, I also got the opportunity to play in the Masters division with them, and we didn't win, but we did. We
Masters is
did.
for old guys, isn't it?
I think it's like what is it like U19 Masters and then like veterans. I think is what
Oh,
the
okay.
old ones is. The veterans and then women's. So yeah, the Masters is like just the pro, I think, but I could be mistaken.
What do you think is so special about the way Marcelo plays?
Just like really controlled and like intelligent style of play. Like he doesn't do too much and he doesn't do too little, and he finds the openings at the right times and like
Mm.
can break the game open. Like you've seen it multiple times. Like one of the biggest moments that comes like my head would be when he like beat NYX. I don't remember what event it is, but he just split the center at the perfect time and won the game for him. And that's just like comes down to clutch play and like understanding the field and just being intelligent.
Dude, he does clutch plays so much that it's like you can't even call it a coincidence. Like like it just happens so frequently. Like
Yeah,
even World Cup, like when the entire X Factor team is coming down and he's like in the back center and he keeps his cool and gets the guys out and he's the last guy alive. Like he is like I hail him as the most clutch paintball player of all time.
yeah. That I mean, for sure, for sure.
Yeah. And I knew Marcelo when he was a literal child, like little child. So
He knew me when I was a literal child, also.
that's amazing, dude. So, anything cool in your paintball collection to show us?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it a little earlier, but it would definitely just be like a second place medal from the Golden State Open.
Hold it up closer. Let me see that bad boy.
Yeah,
Yeah. What's on the back?
not a thing.
Gotcha.
Not a single
All
thing. Yeah,
all
it's a really
designs on the
fancy.
front.
Yeah, all the designs on the front.
What's on the lanyard? What does it say on the lanyard?
It just says professional X ball second place, and it's gonna be backwards for you guys. But yeah, just a little couple words. But
That's tight.
but yeah, that's probably like one of the most special things so far.
I like the medals because like you can, they're not a pain to move if you have to move somewhere. Like you could carry that with you everywhere you go if you wanted to.
Yeah, definitely, and it's like a special thing. It's like little, but it's like thoughtful. Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. Anything that you got rid of that you wish you would have kept?
Yeah, probably like the DSR that I from like the first DSR that I got when I was playing with the like New England Hurricanes, a blue DSR plus. Definitely wish I would have kept that one.
Well, you're going to be shooting a DSR, right?
I will be shooting a DSR. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So what's special about that one?
Just it was like the first, probably one of the first guns that like I got from a team, and it was just like a special team to play for because it's kind of like a legendary New England team. So like Boston, like New England area, it's a legendary team out there, and it was like one of the first like big name teams that I played for, I guess you could say. Like growing up, like I had heard of like the New England Hurricanes, and I had like heard like all of this stuff, and like I'd play for like just local teams. Like one team like called Denver Chaos was my first team, and then Grit. But then it was like, oh, I'm going to try out for like the New England Hurricanes. So it was like kind of like a bigger name team that I like actually made. So that's kind of why it was special to me. Like
So what
first,
what happened to it? What happened to the gun? You sold it?
sold that thing, got rid of it. Yeah,
Yeah, it happens, right? You need the money. Got the gun there. You're gonna
yeah.
get a new one.
I had a new one. Exactly, I had a new one. I had a backup. So I was like, I think I want to get a snowboard for this season.
Dude, okay. So paintball players have to be especially careful with activities like snowboarding.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
I don't do nothing like too crazy. I like doing like more backcountry stuff because I live out here in Colorado, so I enjoy going out to the backcountry, and I like doing anything on like the resorts where there's a icy snow, like crap snow, or like no, I don't do the park or anything like that. Not a chance.
Well, that's like the park isn't where people get hurt. They get hurt like catching an edge and landing on their wrist or something. So you gotta be careful, dude.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I'll keep it in my mind. Yeah,
Well, you're still young, so you can bounce back.
I'm like I'm like 20 going on like 48.
Yeah.
Body's dying.
Oh, dude, wait till you get past 30, then you'll really feel that. What advice would you give to an up and coming player who wants to turn pro?
Just stick to it. I mean, at the end of the day, like realistically, there's not that many kids that are like coming into it. I mean, like there's a lot of kids that play for fun or like just like just like mess around with paintball or like, oh, I enjoy playing paintball, but like if you just want to be good, just stick to it and just like that's it. That's the only thing you really need to do. Like, yeah, just do your drills, but like just stick to it. And if you like hold out longer than the other kids, then you're gonna make it. Like me growing up, there was so many kids around me like that were like probably better than I was at the same age than I was, but I'm practically like it's me and Jackson Frey and that might be it. But there was probably 20 other kids that were my age when I was like starting to play who were equally as good as I was, if not better, but just stopped playing and like never was given the opportunity or never got to the age where like a pro team would accept them. Um, and I just stuck to it longer than them. If that makes sense. That's kind of like bad advice, but like it just consistency is key and dedication to your craft makes for good results in the end.
Well, Trent, do you think that you stuck with it because you have this special kind of discipline that people don't have, or do you think you just love the game?
No, I mean I don't think I have like a special discipline that like no one like if no one else has. I just yeah, I love the game and like what it's done for me in my life is giving me like good opportunities outside of paintball as well, which is like important. And yeah, I just have like a deep love for the game, which makes you enjoy playing it. Which yeah, that's it. Yeah,
So would you say that in order to get to the top that you need to first love the game?
yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you don't love the game, then why are you doing it? At the end of the day, like I talk about this like with a lot of people, like if you aren't enjoying what you're doing, then why are you doing it? Because if you're not going to enjoy what you're doing, then like you're not going to be one giving it your all, which means
Mm.
you're not going to be like performing at your highest level you can perform at. So you have to enjoy it from like the very get go, and have to. That's the baseline. Enjoy it and have fun. And it comes out of the environment too.
Yeah, I think if you truly love something, if you enjoy it, then it doesn't the work that is required doesn't feel like work, right?
Yeah, it
Feels
just
like
is.
playing paintball.
Yeah, it's an escape. It's to go play for fun. It's to go. I mean, everyone has real life, so it's just yeah, just enjoy it. Just play paintball.
Play a paintball.
Yeah.
What are you most thankful for that paintball's given you?
I mean, the opportunity to travel for sure. I mean, there's very few sports that are, I mean, besides like football, like there's very few sports where you can travel all over the world, where you want. Like I've been to Amsterdam and Paris and all over the place and traveled all over Europe for paintball, which is kind of ridiculous at the end of the day. So I mean, traveling is the one thing that paintball has given me that like is awesome.
Who'd you play with in Amsterdam?
Team USA the first time. Yeah, yeah, Team USA, and then oh yeah, just Team USA. Then we did like a D2 Freedom and Independence team is what it was called.
Dude, give me a story from Amsterdam.
I don't know. It was so cold. It was ridiculous. Like all
Really?
I know is, oh my God, there was probably like 8 inches of just like wet mud, like watery mud. It was terrible. It was raining sideways. The wind was so bad. Like I just remember like waking up in the morning, like you get dressed in the car because you don't want to go over to the field to get dressed because it's already pouring rain right away in the morning. And then you're like, you got your poncho on, and the first point's coming up, and you're like, oh, I'm still kind of dry and warm. And then the second you hit the mud for the first point, you're like, all right, I'm going snake on the break. And you hit the mud, and you're like, oh my God, I'm freezing cold. And you just be like soaking wet head to toe from the start of point one until the end of the day.
What about off the field? Amsterdam's got a lot to offer off the field.
Amsterdam does have a lot to offer off the field. It was cool just like to go experience it. I mean, we were all like young kids, so it was cool to like. It was yeah, it was my first trip overseas to Europe, so it was like cool to go like experience like a different culture. I mean, it was my first trip overseas, yeah, not out of the country, but it was cool
Where'd you
to
go?
just see like Amsterdam. We did what was it? I did like Switzerland, Germany, This is
Wow.
not in order. It was like Switzerland, Germany, Austria, and then over to Amsterdam for the tournament. So like paintball gives you the opportunity to travel, which is just insane.
How was Paris?
Paris is cool. I mean, it was honestly, I'm not the biggest like fan of like cities to be honest, and like Paris was just like a big city, and it was kind of like trashy in my opinion, and
Hmm.
like super touristy. But I mean, it was so pretty. Like to go see the Eiffel Tower in person is like a dream come true for sure. And like to sit on like the lawn right in front of the Eiffel Tower and like drink a bottle of wine was like a super cool experience.
Dude, where's the coolest place paintball's taking you?
Probably Amsterdam. Amsterdam was like definitely an experience. Like I don't know if you know Zach, or you probably think you do. I was just talking to him before the Zach Carter. We had a great time in Amsterdam. So just Amsterdam was really fun. Yeah.
Oh, so what was so cool about it? Give me a story. Your parents aren't gonna watch this.
Yeah, they're not gonna watch this definitely. I mean, just like walking around in general, and then like we went outside of the city a little bit too. Like took the trains around, and just like uh, we just like explored. Yeah, we just explored like outside Amsterdam, inside Amsterdam. It was like one of the first places that I was like, I went on my own. I think I was 16, 17 years old,
Oh,
17
that's
years
young.
old. Yeah, so it was cool. It was just like me, Zach, and like a couple other buddies, like just walking around.
Little too young to get into some trouble in
A
Amsterdam.
little too young to get into trouble, so I'll definitely have to go back in a couple of years. But
Yeah, get into some trouble, come back with some stories,
you have to.
You know what they call a quarter pounder with cheese in Amsterdam?
I don't know, but I'll have to
Royale
find
with
out.
cheese.
Oh,
You know what they
nice.
call a Royale with cheese?
What?
They don't have they have the metric system, so I don't know what a quarter pound is.
Oh, well, that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Cool. Well, Trent, dude, thank you so much for your time here. Is there anything that you'd like to part with for the paintball community?
No, I mean, I'm just like I'm excited for the season that's to come, and excited for the opportunities that have been given. I'm excited for the future and to uphold the legacy of Aftershock.
Who's Aftershock sponsors this year? Do you know?
Die paintball for sure. GI Sports is definitely going to be a big one. We got to shoot the best paint that they make. GXG for pods. Um, and G1 paintball is another big one for us. And I think that's about it for right now. Um,
Hormesis?
and Hormesis, yeah, Hormesis is a big one.
Yep.
Sorry, that's a little new for me because the Ironman that was forbidden. So Hormesis is new. So I'm definitely excited to wear Hormesis headband this year also.
Tight. Right on. Trent, dude, thank you
Yeah,
so much for your
definitely.
time. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate it too.